Have you ever pondered about the common perceptions of Jesus Christ? The gates of our secret garden are now open. Welcome to the monastery lost in the woods, that hidden place where you and me are going to sit together and have a chat in peace, tonight under a full moon. We are going to talk about Jesus Christ seen through a different lens. Let's embark on a journey of unraveling perceptions today, starting with the universally recognized figure of Jesus Christ. The name itself evokes a multitude of images and emotions. To some, he is the embodiment of love, a beacon of hope in a world often cloaked in despair. To others, he is the symbol of ultimate sacrifice, whose teachings of forgiveness and peace continue to guide millions. Across cultures and religions, the figure of Jesus Christ stands as an emblem of benevolence. He is often depicted as a serene figure with open arms, welcoming all, an epitome of compassion and love. The stories of his miracles, from healing the sick to feeding the hungry multitudes, echo in the halls of churches, mosques, and temples alike. His teachings, captured in the Bible, are quoted and referenced extensively, shaping moral frameworks and guiding ethical debates. In Western cultures, Christ is celebrated as a savior, the Son of God who took upon himself the sins of the world. He is seen as a guiding light, leading the way to salvation. In Eastern cultures too, Jesus is revered, often viewed as a great prophet or a wise sage, his teachings resonating with philosophies of love, peace and harmony. Indeed, the lessons of Christ transcend religious boundaries. His message of love your neighbor as yourself resonates universally, promoting values of empathy and understanding. His teachings on forgiveness challenge us to let go of grudges, to seek reconciliation instead of retaliation. But as we delve deeper, we begin to realize that these perceptions, while profoundly significant, only scratch the surface of a much more complex narrative. The figure of Jesus Christ as we know him has been shaped and molded by centuries of interpretation, translation, and cultural influence. So we find ourselves standing at the precipice of a question that challenges our understanding, that invites us to look beyond the traditional narratives and venture into uncharted territories. But what if there's more to this story than meets the eye? Join us as we journey further into the heart of this intriguing mystery. To comprehend this possibility, let's delve into the historical context of Jesus Christ. The figure of Jesus has been interpreted and reinterpreted across different religions, each providing its own unique perspective on his life and teachings. In Christianity, Jesus Christ is revered as the Son of God, the Messiah prophesied in the Old Testament. His life is seen as the ultimate sacrifice for the salvation of humanity from sin. He is depicted as a figure of love, compassion and forgiveness, embodying the very essence of divine mercy and grace. Meanwhile, in Islam, Jesus, or Isa as he is known, is considered one of the greatest prophets. While not divine, he is highly respected and revered, known for his miracles and his virgin birth. He is seen as a messenger of God, a harbinger of truth, and a symbol of piety. In contrast, Judaism acknowledges Jesus as a historical figure, but not as the Messiah or divine entity. He is viewed as a teacher, perhaps a prophet, but his claims to divinity are not accepted. This is because the Jewish faith firmly holds that God is one and indivisible, and any claim of divinity by a human being is seen as a deviation from this core belief. Despite these different interpretations, there are common threads that weave through each narrative. Jesus is consistently portrayed as a figure of moral authority, a teacher of wisdom, and a beacon of hope. His teachings, whether seen as divine revelations or profound wisdom, have influenced billions of lives throughout history. However, these narratives often overshadow an aspect of Jesus that is seldom explored. In the book of Revelation, Jesus is referred to as the morning star. This title, while seemingly innocuous, is also associated with another figure from religious texts, a figure shrouded in controversy and intrigue. But even with these diverse representations, there's a controversial perspective that's rarely discussed. Did you know that Jesus Christ is also referred to as the morning star in the Bible? Surprising, isn't it? This title, found within the pages of the Christian Holy Book, adds another layer to the figure of Jesus Christ. The term morning star is used in the Bible in several instances. In the book of Revelation, chapter 22, verse 16, the passage reads, "I, Jesus, have sent my angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David, and the bright and morning star." This passage clearly identifies Jesus as the morning star, but what does this title mean? The morning star is an astronomical term for the planet Venus when it appears in the east before sunrise. It's a beacon of light breaking through the darkness, a harbinger of dawn, symbolizing the arrival of daylight after a long dark night. In the spiritual context, Jesus, as the morning star, represents the light of truth and love breaking through the darkness of sin and despair. The symbolism of Jesus as the morning star is also found in the second epistle of Peter, chapter 1, verse 19, where Peter refers to the prophetic word as "a light that shineth in a dark place until the day dawn and the morning star rise in your hearts." Here, the morning star signifies the illuminating presence of Christ, dispelling ignorance and falsehood and guiding believers towards truth and enlightenment. In the theological context, Jesus, the morning star, is the bringer of spiritual dawn, the light that dispels darkness and guides humanity towards salvation. He is the beacon of hope, love, and truth, shining brightly in a world often shrouded in darkness and despair. Interestingly, there's another biblical character associated with the morning star. Let's dive deeper into the biblical texts and explore this further together. Surprisingly, Lucifer, the Prince of Darkness, is also referred to as the morning star in the Bible. This title, often associated with light and hope, seems at odds with the dark figure that Lucifer is commonly portrayed as. But let's delve a little deeper into the biblical text to understand this unusual correlation. In the Old Testament, specifically in the book of Isaiah, Lucifer is depicted as a fallen angel who was once a beautiful, bright entity. The term morning star is used to refer to Lucifer before his fall from grace. It's a symbol of his former glory, a reminder of the time when he was considered the most beautiful of all angels, radiant and full of light. The term morning star is derived from the Latin word Lucifer, which literally means light bringer or morning star. This title was bestowed upon him due to his role as the bringer of dawn. However, his pride and desire to be equal to God led to his downfall, transforming him into the Prince of Darkness. The morning star, as we know, is not an actual star. It is Venus, the brightest planet in our sky, visible just before dawn. Similarly, Lucifer, as the morning star, was a beacon of light before the dawn of his rebellion. The symbolism of the morning star is quite profound. It represents the thin line between light and darkness, between good and evil. It's a reminder that even the brightest lights can dim, and even the most righteous can fall. In the New Testament, the term morning star is also used, but in a completely different context. It's used to refer to Jesus Christ, the bringer of spiritual light and salvation. This dual usage of the term has led to various interpretations and sparked numerous debates among scholars and theologians. So we see that the morning star is not just a celestial body or a divine title. It's a symbol of light, of hope, and of imperfection. It's a reminder that even the brightest of lights can falter and fall into darkness. This dual usage of the morning star has sparked some intriguing hypotheses. What if Jesus and Lucifer, both referred to as the morning star, are two sides of the same coin? Now that's an intriguing thought to ponder upon. Consider this hypothesis. Jesus and Lucifer could represent dual aspects of not only the same divine principle but the same deity. You might be wondering, how does this work? Well, let's dive into this a bit further. If you've been following along, you know that both Jesus and Lucifer are referred to as the morning star in religious texts. This shared title hints at a possible connection, a shared essence or purpose. Now imagine a coin. On one side you have Jesus embodying love, compassion and salvation. On the other side you find Lucifer symbolizing knowledge, enlightenment and perhaps a form of rebellion. Both of these aspects are essential to the human experience. Love and compassion, as well as knowledge and rebellion, are fundamental to our growth as individuals and as a society. So what if these two figures, Jesus and Lucifer, are not opposing forces, but rather two aspects of the same divine principle, two parts of a whole, complementing and balancing each other out? This perspective could dramatically change our understanding of these figures and their role in religious texts. But why does this matter? Well, it's about more than just theological debate. It's about how we interpret and apply these teachings in our lives. If we see these two figures as representing a unified divine principle, it might encourage us to seek balance within ourselves, to embrace love and compassion, but also to value knowledge and question established norms. So, we're not suggesting that we've solved the mysteries of the universe here, nor are we claiming that this is the only valid interpretation of these figures. This is merely a hypothesis, an alternative perspective to consider. Whether you agree or disagree, it's fascinating to explore different perspectives, isn't it? Thank you for joining in this intriguing exploration of one of history's most influential figures, Jesus Christ, the Morning Star. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment, like and subscribe. For a more personal connection, please visit our Patreon community, links available under this episode's notes. Unlock exclusive content by visiting our Patreon today. The gates of our secret garden are now closed.